Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Convention Confessional. My name is Katy Hunt, and I'm here to guide you through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the convention world. It has been a minute, and I'm sorry. I was doing so well, and everyone was like, wow, you're like a brand new podcast, and you've had an episode every week on time. And obviously, my body was like, oh, well. We had to take care of that then. Hello. The most consistent you've ever been in your life. Nope. To be fair, not my fault. My 1 week moving excursion turned into almost a month of moving, and I'm still technically kind of not 100% moved into my new place. So, but it will not affect this podcast anymore. We are settled enough now that we can move on. Thank God. So again, sorry guys for not being here, but life comes first. Podcasts are fun and all, but life unfortunately does have to come first. Not to mention how busy we've been. My God. So much happening besides moving, real life, and preparing for Anime Boston 2022. So exciting. It's been saying that's gonna happen, it's going to happen. But you still have to be overly cautious and prepare for the worst, because the last 2 years, that's what it's been. It's like, we're getting there and, oh, sorry guys, we can't. And when we got the official load-in emails the other day and everything else, it's like, oh my God, it's really happening. So excited for that. And I can tell you guys that I have a room and a time for Convention Confessional Live. That's right. I'm doing a live episode at the convention on Friday night at 9 o'clock until 10 o'clock in Panel Ballroom C. Yes, all that information is correct. So please come up there and don't let me sit by myself and talk, even though I'm doing that right now. But I'm home, not at a really big anime convention. So, you know. And come and share your convention stories with me. We're going to record the episode to the best of my ability. And there might be some prizes involved for best story, but I'm not going to get too much into it because I want to leave a little bit of a surprise. Tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your wives, tell your significant others, your husbands, your dog. And can you bring your dogs? No, service animals. Tell your service animals. I love dogs. And yeah, I'm really excited about that because one, this is the first panel for this podcast of what I hope will be many. And two, it's actually my first panel I've ever hosted at Anime Boston. Not my first panel ever, but my first panel at Anime Boston. So this is big. It's a big deal. That's a big ballroom too. So I'm excited. Let's see what else is going on. What can we talk about this week? Something short and sweet because, like I said, still getting on with my life. There probably will not be an episode next week, only because I will be doing load-in and getting ready for the convention. So unless one of my beautiful friends decides to record with me in the next few days, we might not have a convention confessional next Wednesday either. But the following Wednesday will be the recording of this live show. Very exciting, Mr. Wash. I know. The cat's here. My co-host. Hi. Yeah, it's right. All right. Speaking of packing and moving and everything else, let's talk about convention packing and how disgustingly stressful it is. Actually, that's what I want to talk about. So, in the midst of all of this moving around in my life, you're also trying to pack for a convention that's going to be happening in a few weeks. And you're like, perhaps I shouldn't pack away everything that I need to take and pack to go to wear the costumes that I've decided to wear. Because who had time to make anything new? Only 2 years. I mean, come on. Not me. So, packing up convention costumes to bring with me into a bag, only to realize that I had not packed everything for them, was absolutely astounding. Went through a storage unit of disaster yesterday to find a wig and a prop that I had shuffled away. Actually, funny story, the prop I knew, the wig I didn't realize until I found it I packed it with the prop, I just didn't bring it to the right location. So to be fair, past Katie was thinking a little bit, just not thinking good. Not good. But I mean, that's just, shuffling around with the real life stuff. I'm talking about like the conventions where back in the day, I would take 6 or 7 costumes with me. I was neurotic because my worst fear, and I'm sure everybody that cosplays has had this dream or even goes like on a vacation or something, you forget to pack something. You forget to pack the wig, you forget a prop, you forget some belt or something of importance. And then like, you have the dream and obviously you're competing because that's usually how my nightmares went. It was like, oh, but you're going on stage for masquerade right now and your pants won't stay up. It's like awesome. But yeah, always my worst fear forgetting something, especially with that many costumes that I wore. And I mean, granted, back in the day, my costumes were not overly complicated. When I was new to cosplay, it was literally a lot of goodwill and what I could find at the store cosplay. Some sewn stuff because I didn't have my own sewing machine at the time, but like, you know, jeans and sweatshirts and all those other things. And I would always be so scared that I was going to leave something behind. And I'd be in the middle of Boston, like this little hobunk town that has nothing, but like out in the middle of nowhere, near no stores in which I can replace it. But some things, I mean, now in Boston, there used to be a wig store. I had done the trip with my friends who had forgotten a wig or wasn't able to get a wig, thank God, but I don't think that wig store exists anymore. Costume store that used to be in Boston, gone. The big one, the Halloween one, which now the name escapes me, but my cousin used to work at it. But just you don't want to forget stuff, especially if you worked really hard on it. Like all these really complicated costumes, like you forget the one brooch that ties the whole thing together. Ugh, the worst feeling in the world. So I used to be neurotic and I would make a checklist. And you're like, okay, cool, that's responsible. No, it was neurotic. It was literally a 3-point checklist for each costume. And I would tag everything as it was going into the bag. I would tag everything as it was coming out of the bag, and then I would tag it again when it was going back into the bag to make sure I'd packed it all and not forgotten it in the hotel room. Slightly OCD about it. But did I ever forget a costume piece? No. And did I ever lose anything? No. I broke stuff at conventions, but I mean, the broken pieces went back into the bag, so there you go. Let's see. I'd gone to conventions before, not knowing I was going to be a character at the convention, and then I had to go and buy something. So let's see. One time, oh goodness, feels like a million years ago because I've been going to conventions for so long. But I was dressed up as Reeve from Final Fantasy. Met up with a bunch of people there, and a couple of months before, well, maybe like almost a year before, I had started cosplaying Mace Hughes. And I had his uniform and everything. And I got to the convention, got talking to these people, and they were like, oh my gosh, you'd be the best Hughes ever. Like, you're basically wearing his outfit from such and such an episode. And I was like, well, yeah, but I mean, he had like a pink shirt and blah, blah, blah. I don't have a pink shirt with me. I wasn't expecting to be dressed up as Hughes this weekend. They're like, oh my God, but it looks so good. So one of the people took me to Talbot's in the Prudential Center, bought me the pink shirt to be Hughes. We found some vendor that had a couple of Alicia pictures, and I ended up being Mace Hughes for a couple of hours, and it was awesome. But it's like it's very convenient. You're next to the mall at the Peru, especially like if you decide at the last minute you want to cosplay something else and have $1 million. I can't even remember how much that shirt was, but it was ridiculous. I'm like, we're not doing this. They're like, oh no, we're doing this. I'm like, it's like $100 for like a button down shirt. Please don't do this. You don't even know me. Like, why is this happening? But yeah, very convenient. They said Boston's a good town, and if you're going to forget something for a convention, Boston's the town to be in, because if you can't find it there, then it didn't exist in the first place, and even the piece that you had probably was an illusion to you. Like, You just didn't have it and you thought you did. So yeah, I mean, packing for conventions very stressful. And sometimes it's not even the costume pieces that you forget. I mean, I've packed everything. I'm like, cool, I've got my whole life. Awesome. You get to the convention. Did you pack underwear? No. Of course you didn't. Did you bring anything to, wash yourself in the shower with? No, no. Soap didn't seem relevant at the time when you were putting together your like 1,000-piece Percy costume. So thank God for CVS and, travel tubes of things. I can't tell you how many times I've bought a toothbrush going to a convention because apparently, like, dental hygiene just went right out the window. Hairbrush. I always seem to forget my hairbrush. And granted, I'm wearing a wig a lot of the time, so it's not like essential to have the hairbrush, but maybe after you're not in the wig, going out with your friends, not looking like a total schmuck, maybe. Uh, so that being said, I have gotten much better over the years to make my checklist for not so much the costume pieces of my life, because once I've made the costume, it goes into a bag and then it's just ready to go. But more so for just the everyday stuff, deodorant and your pills because you're old now and you take stuff, so your blood pressure and you don't kill people. Um, It's just funny how like your convention list kind of evolves with you. It has to, as you get a little bit older. I mean, I think about the things that I cared about packing in the past to what I care about now. I don't take 6 or 7 costumes anymore. I think I'm taking 3 this time, and I don't even know if I'm going to have the time to wear all 3 of them just because of my schedule. Saturdays, I could get dressed up in the morning, but the only people that are going to see me are the people that are doing their run throughs for Masquerade. But that doesn't mean I can't look cute. Just deciding what I should wear. My costumes this weekend, next weekend. Ugh, I want it to be AB so bad. My costumes for next weekend, if anybody's curious. Once again, a Percy costume, but I've made the Percy costume from the Prime Video Legends of Vox Machina Percy, so that's exciting. I'm going to have number 5 from the Umbrella Academy because I made that costume in the pandemic and I love it so much, and I'm just sad I've never seen a convention, so he's coming along with me. And I am going to be Agatha Harkness from the very first episode of WandaVision because I love Agatha and she's wonderful. And I feel like that's a good Sunday roam around outfit, my cute little dress and my pineapple, and it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. But again, those are all costumes that I've either like had all of and it's already packed and all set now that I have found everything at storage. Or I'm Amazoning the last 2 things that I need. And they will be here within a couple of hours, I would imagine. So it's very convenient. Like I said, back in the day, this was hard. Like you actually had to go to stores. Like Amazon wasn't as big a thing as it is now, where you could have like next day. I've seen people actually have their packages Amazoned to the hotel. Like you go down to the lobby the next morning because you're walking through to go to the convention and people are picking up their Amazon packages with their last minute stuff. It's like, back in the day, you would have been SOL, and now the fact that you can just get your package delivered like here is clutch. I tell you. I couldn't find it in Boston. I found it on the internet. I will have it next day. Perfect. So yeah, short episode this week, guys, and I'm sorry for that. I just we've already talked about it. I've lamented it. But we will be back full swing. I promise you. To anybody's listening to this for the first time, hi. Please come to the panel at Anime Boston and meet you there. It'll be fun. Let's see. You can also purchase my book. That could have gone worse. Life Lessons from a Dinosaur Cosplayer. It's available on Amazon and Kindle. It's a good read. I'm hoping to bring a couple and possibly sneaky leave them around. Kind of like everywhere that I can, that I won't get in trouble for it. Look out for those at the convention. I'm going to hide maybe 2 or 3 of them outside of the convention in the Pru and around, maybe in the Sheridan lobby. I don't know. But if you find one, please take a picture of it and tag me in it on Twitter or Instagram. Juggles Geese on Twitter and Juggles_Geese on the Instagram. I probably just got those wrong, but it's been a day. It's been a day. Guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Thank you so much for all of your love and support, especially to all my friends and everybody who've been on here and have shared and will continue to be on here because I harass them weekly to come and record with me. There wouldn't be a show without the stories, and I appreciate you guys every day. And we are going to get back to those stories now that life is in full swing again. So, yay! I will see you all not next week, maybe next week. Again, we'll see if my friends love me enough to record with me. And I will definitely see you at Anime Boston 2020. Have a good one, guys. Bye.